Welcome to Life Decoded. I am Nancy Mendez. I believe every life is a story to the world, so make sure it's inspiring. Through my podcast, I'd like to bring to life inspiring stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. So let's embark on this journey to get informed and inspired. The murder of George Floyd. Two young individuals from USA, Olivia D'Costa and Jordan Yango, initiated a project called Stories and Soul. They wanted to find a way of making a difference by using their skills, wherein they make prints depicting an inspirational black individual on the front and a short bio at the back. They are selling these prints on Instagram, and the proceeds go towards charities to eradicate racism. Olivia is a sophomore and attends the University of Washington in Seattle, where she is pursuing a degree in medical laboratory science. And Jordan Yango has graduated from the University of Washington with a histories degree. Please join me in welcoming Olivia and Jordan on my podcast, Life Decode.
Hi.
Thank you.
I saw some Instagram post of Olivia and she was doing some kind of prints. So I asked Olivia's mom, who is also my cousin, so what is this? So she said that Olivia is into a project called Stories and Soul. So can Olivia tell me more about it?
Sure, yeah. So the project sort of started with the protests surrounding the death of George Floyd. And there was like this huge movement bringing attention to the Black Lives Matter movement. And Jordan approached me and he was like, hey, we both have some art skills. Let's use our skills to help with the situation. So Jordan, do you want to say a little bit more about it?
And also both of us are very involved in our Catholic faith. That's very much a part of our identity. And so another reason that we sort of wanted to start this is because we felt like our faith is very much calls us to action when something like this happens. And maybe not many people realize this, but racism is a sin. And so like any other sin, it should be combated. And right now it seems that was a very prominent issue, especially after the death of George Floyd. And I know a lot of the people in our church community were feeling hurt. And
actually, that was my next question. As kids, you are as young as 19-year-old, and there are other pressing issues which are more dominant than this issue of Black Lives Matter. So I understand now that motivation stems from the fact that you are staunch Catholics and that demeaning another human being is a sin. So that's your motivation, correct? Okay.
Yeah,
So,
and also just as like another human being, like we have a moral obligation to help others. So not only as Catholics, but just as human beings, we're just called to help each other.
okay, so it's about Black individuals. Your project is dedicated to them. So who among this individual, do you have any particular prominent individual who has inspired you? This question is for both of you, so one of you can answer and then the other person can answer.
Yeah, so our project is sort of centered around highlighting the lives of individuals who have inspired us. So when we were first starting the project, we came up with like a list of people that we wanted to create prints for, and then we decided on 4 that we wanted to start with at least. The 2 that I chose were Dr. Shirley Jackson, and she is one of the leading physicists, and she's a Black woman, and she is now the president of a college. So I thought she's very inspirational. And the other person that I chose was Saint Josephine Bakita, and she was, despite being sold into slavery and going through so many hardships, she was able to overcome that, and she was still able to help so many other people in her community. So those are the two people that I chose.
What about you, Jordan?
Yeah, I chose two athletes, and one of them is Mohammed Farah. He is a British long distance runner, mid distance and long distance runner. He was born in Somalia, actually, and he moved to the United Kingdom at a very young age. And I was inspired by him, not only because he is an Olympic champion and he has many other titles outside of his Olympic medals, but not only that, he is a prominent person of color in a sport that, at least from my point of view, seemed like a primarily white sport. Mm-hmm. So, I grew up running and thinking it was a white sport, and then I'll watch the Olympics and I'll see many prominent athletes from African countries, and also from even a primarily white country, a prominent colored runner. So that was very inspiring. And the second person I picked was Kilian Mbampe, who is a Black French football player, a soccer player, plays for both Paris Saint-Germain, a soccer team in Paris, as well as the French national team.
Okay, so they are not predominantly Black personalities only from the US. They're all over the globe that you picked these individuals, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So I was wondering now, this Black Lives Matter has become such a controversial issue. It's divided basically into the white and the black. So do you all encounter any kind of backlash from your peers or anyone in your community who may not go with your mindset? What kind of backlash you got when you started this project? Jordan, can you answer that question?
Well, in discussing Black Lives Matter in general, some of my friends, my Catholic friends, stated some concerns, and they were mostly regarding looting and rioting and things like that. Mm-hmm. And then most recently, I know that churches and religious statues have been targeted and destroyed in some cases. And so the backlash I've gotten, if you want to call it that, has been over that. So
we are talking about, I know that this is on a state level or on a country level that these backlashes are happening. But in regards to you as a person, did you get any kind of like a peer backlash? Like somebody who said, oh, why are you taking this as an issue? Let the higher ups deal with it. Why have you taken up this matter in your fold?
Oh, yeah. So I've had friends ask me that question based on the fact that, because they're asking me, why are you supporting this?
Yes.
Based on the fact that there is an element of rioting and looting. So I've had Catholic friends who have said that this is problematic to your mm-hmm. faith. Why are you supporting this when there's an element of violence or looting or whatever?
Yeah, because the backlash is now, is going in a different direction.
Yeah.
So this question is for Olivia. Olivia, what kind of support you all receive from your family members? Now the backlash is gone, but you may have also got some support from your peers or your family members or from your community when you said you wanted to do this project.
Yeah. So we have received quite a bit of support from family members. My family has helped pay for some of the prints and like some of the additional costs. But it's been really interesting because even though we've received a lot of verbal support from our friends and our community, we haven't received much financial support, or not as much as we thought we would. And kind of what I've realized with this whole project is that it's easy to kind of say that, oh, I support this movement, but it's very easy to fall into the trap of saying that you support it, but not actually showing it. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that maybe with this podcast, we can get some more sales and we can actually continue to make a difference.
So I'm thinking that you have done these prints, drawn these prints, correct? I really don't know what these prints look like, or because I know I have bought one. I bought a couple of them, but I haven't. Have you all drawn them? Because I know that there is a story on the back side and there's a picture in the front. So how does this print look like?
Yeah, so so we have 4 prints so far, and each print on the front has an original piece of artwork. So one of them was done by me, one of them I did with my sister, and then Jordan did the other 2. So each print has an original piece of artwork that depicts the person that we're trying to share, and the back has a little biography about the person that kind of shows how they inspired us.
Okay, so then you did the original print and then you did like copies of them. Is that right?
Yeah, so the artwork is it's digital, so yeah.
Good stuff. So who else is on your team? Now I know I can only see Olivia and Jordan. Is there anyone else on your team?
Not officially, but my sister Emily, she helped with one of the prints. So.
And how old is Emily?
She's 15.
15. Is she artistic?
Yes, she is. She's very good.
And who is the storyteller?
So we each wrote the biographies for whichever print that we designed.
And did you all get this information out of Wikipedia or surfing the net?
Yeah, we did a little bit of research before writing each biography.
And how much are these prints selling for?
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So we ask for a minimum donation of $5, but it's certainly not a hard line amount.
Mm-hmm.
But on the Instagram account, and we say $5.
And so your clientele could be anywhere from any part of the world. And how do they kind of buy these, and how do they transfer the money? Like how do they exchange money and the shipping of these prints?
The current system we have is they either contact us through email or private message us on Instagram itself.
Okay.
And then they send us money through Venmo.
That's kind of an e-transfer system.
Yes.
Okay. And is there a deadline to buy these prints, and then this money that you raise, is it going to an institution or to a charitable organization where they will then send the money to the organization that you are intending to send it to?
Yeah, so each print is the proceeds from each print goes to a different organization. So if you look on the Instagram post, I think as of now we have 3 different organizations. So one is Color of Change, the other one is Black Alliance for Just Immigration, and then the last one is the Bail Project. So for each of the prints, there's like a corresponding organization that all the proceeds from that print, the money will go to.
So Jordan, could you tell me if there is any other organization which is matching the dollar amount that you are raising?
There were a number of others that Olivia had researched and picked, but the ones she mentioned are the ones that are.
So are they the ones going to be matching your dollar amount? Say, for example, you have raised maybe $5,000. Are they going to be matching it with another $5,000, or is just the 5,000 that you raised? You know how sometimes they match dollar to dollar, some organization, and then it goes to the final institution where they collect all this money. Like sometimes a government organization also says, okay, I'm matching whatever amount you raise to this cause. I'm going to match it with another, maybe $0.50 or dollar to dollar.
Since we're a small project, we haven't had anybody come forward to be able to do that. But if anybody listening would like to do that, please contact us through Instagram.
Okay. So you may have to give your Instagram so I can, put it in my post so that
yes,
whoever wants to donate to your cause. So what is your actual cost of each print? And because I know you're selling it for $5, but the actual cost of each print.
Yeah. So we bought the prints in bulk and they came to around 50 cents per print. But my parents and some other family members helped to pay for that cost. So because that cost is covered, all of the proceeds will go to the organizations that we mentioned.
Okay, so they are doing their bit of charitable work as well. What challenges besides the backlash? What other challenges did you all face in terms of infrastructure or monetary or anything else that you can think of you encountered during this project that you all were doing? So Jordan can answer that question, maybe.
Well, other than my personal like social media accounts, I never had a like a social media account outside of my personal ones, and certainly not one with like a specific focus or a goal. So it was interesting to reach out and make that goal clear, because I know um, certainly part of the reason is why people haven't supported us financially is probably because like Olivia said, it's easier to say that you support something, and then it's
But when
another.
actually when it comes
Yeah,
to giving, then
yeah.
you
So that's
backtrack.
probably, yeah, that's part of the reason. But then also, I think there's a certain level of advertising and showing that we need to do on our part, and so that was interesting to figure out, I guess.
Yeah, both of us are quite new to this sort of project, and it's definitely been a learning experience for us. We're still trying to figure out what's the best way to reach the most amount of people. So, yeah.
So do you all have like a time span when this project is going to end and when you have to hand over the money, or is it going to be an ongoing process?
I think this. I mean, the struggle with racism in the United States is a 230 something year. It's been a 236-ish year process. So the answer is no. It's probably going to be an ongoing thing as long as
No,
we're.
I do understand that. I'm talking about the specific project of doing these prints and selling and getting the money out of it. That project, do you all have like a horizon? Like it has to be within maybe a couple months or 6 months down the road. We have to wind down and we have to take whatever money we get and give it to the organization, and then we are done with this project, and then we can work on something else. Or like as you said, I know this problem or this issue of Black lives is been going on for 200 300 years, but when it comes to me, I have done my part. I have done this prints and I'm selling them, and I have this end time. It has to be done within a year or 6 months. That's what I'm asking. That's the question.
No, for now we're just keeping it open um, because we have a lot of prints that we still have to sell.
Mhm.
So we have 100 of each print, and we've sold a couple of them. But as of now, we're going to keep it open and see how much money we can raise. And I think we're giving the money as we go. So as people order the prints and give us the money, we just directly send it to the organizations.
On hindsight, instead of doing prints, after you took on this project and after doing this 100 prints per person, right? Did you think that, oh, I shouldn't have maybe done prints? I could have done something else instead of doing these prints. And the end result would have been the same, like raising funds for this issue. So did you ever feel that either of you felt that, we could have done something else instead of this?
I think I mentioned to Olivia still doing prints, but making something that looks different. But I don't think I ever thought of doing something else. But Olivia might have. Maybe you.
Yeah, so when we were kind of like looking into the different things that we could have done, like I was looking a little bit into maybe possibly doing stickers, but
Oh,
we were looking at the cost of how much it to make stickers and then the cost that we would sell it for, and we wanted to make the most amount of money for the organizations, not to pay for making the prints or making the stickers. So prints was the easiest and the cheapest way for us to be able to get our message across. And also we wanted to make sure that each print not only shared like the artwork, but also the story behind the artwork.
No, your cause and your mindset and the approach is very, very noble. And I'm glad youngsters like you are taking up that matter to make our world very beautiful. I love your attitude. So, on the other note, on a standalone point of view, what are your other activities and hobbies that you're pursuing? Jordan, you can go first and then maybe Olivia.
Well, at the moment, I'm not doing anything artistic outside of this project, but I can tell you a little bit about the work I'm doing. I work for City Year AmeriCorps, which supports elementary schools and middle schools across the country in math and reading. So at the moment, I'm working at Rising Star Elementary in Seattle, Washington, and I'm supporting fourth grade reading. And
When you say supporting, it's not like a job that you're being paid for. You're just doing it as a voluntary.
We are being paid, but we're not actual. We're certainly not actual teachers, but we are. We're being paid by City Year, not the school.
Mm-hmm.
We're being paid by City Year, and we help. We're assigned a school in the city that we're serving in.
And what about you, Olivia?
Yeah, so as of now, I'm a full-time student, but art is sort of my main hobby. So I've been drawing and sketching a lot since I'm doing all my classes from home. I'm also doing a little bit of freelance artwork. So I've been doing some different projects with designing podcast covers, album covers, things like that, posters, banners. I'm also part of an undergrad neuroscience journal, and I do illustrations for that.
So, who is your role model, Olivia?
My role model. I would say I definitely have a lot of role models.
One of them.
I would say my mom or my dad. I mean, both my parents are great role models. They're both very strong in their Catholic faith, and they also do so much work for other people and their surrounding communities.
Jordan, you?
Outside of my parents, of course, I'll have to pick my former cross-country coach from high school. His name is Greg Isham. He's very devoted to his faith, and he's very involved in the community, very devoted to his students. Is very much about experiences and service versus financial gain or whatever. He's very much a servant to the community.
What message would you like to give to our listeners? Being young as you guys are, you have had your share of setbacks, especially in this project. As you said, you had issues of people saying, yeah, I'm going to help you out. And when it really came time to help you out, some of them backed out. So there are a lot of these youngsters who can get discouraged by these setbacks. What message would you like to give them?
I would just say, if you see something wrong in the world, don't wait for somebody else to try and fix the problem. See what you can do, see what you have to offer, and then offer that up.
Awesome. So that comes to the end of my interview. It was wonderful to have you both on my podcast, and I look forward to having more projects and more enthusiasm and more community spirit from you both. You are role models to many youngsters, and keep going. Don't get worried with your setbacks. There are going to be challenges all throughout your life, but your determination, your community spirit, and your faith will take you across. This is my message to you guys because you are still young. So good luck to you both. And it was wonderful to have you on my podcast.
Thank you. Yeah. And thank you for allowing us the space to share our story.
Thank you. Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you.
To support Olivia and Jordan's cause and to buy prints, you could DM them via Instagram at STORI_ESANDSOULS or email them STORIESANDSOULS0@gmail.com, or you could email me at info@lifedecoded.com. That's info@lifedecoded.com. That was an amazing story. To hear more such inspiring stories, log on to my website lifedecoded.com. That's lifedecoded.com, and subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. Listen anytime and anywhere on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Castbox, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Cast, and Radio Public. Until next time, stay safe and inspired.